So what was said yesterday still stands true today and will also be true tomorrow.
So, Quanell, I want to talk to you about this last week. This young 10-year-old, very intelligent-looking young lady, a black young lady at a Pearland school who will not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in her classroom. She doesn't want to stand up because apparently she believes that black Americans need a lot more to be done in this country. She is not willing to support the black Americans that have fought and died for this country. You know what I believe, Quannell? And I know you supported her publicly, but you know what I think? I think at 10 years old, she has no real understanding of what America is. So I wonder if her parents have sat her down and explained what Americans have given their lives, white, black, red. It doesn't make any difference. They stood and they fought and they died for this country, and she doesn't want to do anything to honor them?
This has been a problem ever since Colin Kaepernick knelt, right? He was not going to support this flag. And what Matt Patrick does not seem to understand, as many other white Americans do not seem to understand, is that for some reason you keep equating that flag around military. That's not what that's only supposed to be about. That's supposed to be the land of the free. That's supposed to represent freedom. That's supposed to represent the so-called melting pot. That's supposed to represent equality for all. But that's not what it represents. And therefore, that's why people are no longer saying the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm going to be honest with you, honey. Had I had really known and had this information, the same way that little girl more than likely has the information in these later years, I wouldn't have done it either. I had actually no idea what the heck I was pledging to. While Matt Patrick believes that this 10-year-old little girl does not seem to understand the full scope of America, what I am going to say is she knows a whole lot more about it than I did at 10. Okay, carry on. Quannell, what you say?
Comes from a family of military service members. Her father is a retired military service member also, who served this nation well with great dignity. She also has additional family members who was in the armed forces.
Good.
Her mother's a very intelligent woman who has had long conversations, as well as her father, about her not standing for the flag. What white people need to understand
Just
is that,
white people?
Yes, please, let me explain. What white people need to understand is that national anthem was written by Francis Scott Key, a slave owner.
Oh, here we go.
Who demonized and hated black slaves and black people. And that unwritten third, that unheard of and unspoken third verse, go research the third verse where he says, "There's no refuge in this country for the hireling or the slave. Both should be turmoil to the grave."
How's her parents doing?
This is a man
Are they successful?
that promised turmoil for black people to the grave. Would you ask Jewish children to say a pledge to a German anthem that disrespects Jewish people?
If they're
No, you
living
would
in
not.
Germany,
No,
sure.
you would not.
Well, sure.
That disrespects Jewish people?
Then
No,
why?
you would not.
Something that's a super irritant is when the white splaining starts to go on. When the white fragility shows up. You know, for some reason, when the white fragility shows up, all of a sudden they have to interrupt you and speak over you while you are still in the midst of a sentence, simply because they are now feeling uncomfortable, right? Now, that's what I'm getting from it, because that's what it shows as the body language and everything. You're feeling uncomfortable. You can't handle the truth, right? So you'd rather not hear the truth, right? Right? Because as long as you don't hear it, as long as you don't see it, it doesn't exist. And that's mainly because, for some reason, I believe that the white population has a very difficult time and a strong challenge with identifying anybody of color, of any different type of culture or ethnicity, simply because they don't really have one. They're not racialized. You see, everything in this world has been for them, especially here in this divided states of America. It has been for them, not against them like everybody else. So why in the world would they want to sit there and really understand anything that you happen to go through? Because, again, they're only looking at themselves. And wait a minute. You can't say that I'm having privilege or I benefit from privilege, white privilege, because I'm not getting paid the kind of money that I would be getting paid or should be getting paid or whatever. I struggled. No, my parents were poor. No. Yeah. But see, you had every opportunity afforded to you. There was absolutely no reason to ride. In fact, when people came through Ellis Island and there were Irish and the Polish and the Italians and so forth and so on, even though they were kind of demonized in the beginning, when the white political power structure figured out that the more of them, the merrier, well, that so-called melting pot, yeah, that came from a play, but that was meant to wash the so-called dirty white race and build up the white political power structure. Still didn't like each other, but they saw a commonality on how it would help them all. You can go anywhere you want to go. You can go into any city you want to go into. You can walk around anywhere you want to walk around. Even if you a bum, okay, you can still walk around and ain't nobody going to give you too much of a second thought. But again, because this was the way of the land, these were the laws of the land, and you grew up in it, right? And it didn't affect you. And as long as it didn't affect you, and it was for you, it was for the benefit of you, right? You were okay with how things were going. It was a norm for you. You chose not to see the discrepancies and the disparities and barriers set forth by other people. You choose not to see it. You choose not to listen. It's always about you, isn't it? Well, Quannell, let's continue.
You certainly can kneel down. In America, you have the right to do that. But what will happen to her, how her friends will respond, how the school will view her, how Americans will view her is very negative. And this is not what you want for your 10-year-old child.
And let me say to that young girl and others like that young girl, America looked at the same way at Rosa Parks when she refused to get up and give up her seat to a white man on the bus. But history vindicated her. History vindicated her. America demonized Harriet Tubman for freeing slaves from slavery, but history vindicated her. So I say to that young girl, you stand strong, stand up, and stand for what you believe in. And to all of those who are too coward to do it, don't get in that young girl's way. Others like her, support that young girl.
What would you like her to say to the men and women who have fought for this country like I ran into over the weekend? The black men and women who fought for this country and some who gave their lives.
And ask the black men and women who served America in its military, like in the Independence War. We helped America get it, and we were still slaves afterwards. Ask those in Vietnam who gave their war on Vietnam battlefields, but then came back and was called niggers in their own country. We have fought in America's war, and we've never been given the justice and the due process of everybody else in this nation.
Then
so
why don't you move to a different country? Why are you staying here if you don't like it?
Let me tell you why. Because the country belongs to Indians. You white folks stole it from them, raped and robbed their people. This not your country. You all came over here and stole it and beat the hell out of them. So this not your country.
It was my country.
You all need to go home.
If you're
you all need to go back where you came from.
If you don't like it, why don't you pack up and go?
Always to go to. Yeah, if you don't like it here, why don't you pack up and go? Usually people say, why don't you go back to where you came from? Well, this is where I came from. And we have been here longer than many of you. Many of you. In fact, we built this place. We built it. And many of the white population have benefited. And don't tell me about no percentage. Money was handed down from generation to generation, whereas we had absolutely nothing. We built it, but yet and still, if we are suffering from ill treatment and being lynched from trees and being hung and being set on fire and being skinned alive and all these kind of things, if we don't like it, then we should go. So what you saying? We should just be dealing with ill treatment? Is that what you're saying? Who should decide who stays and goes? Quannell?
Let the Indians decide who should pack up and go, and I guarantee the black folks will stay, and you all will be on the first damn boat leaving here. So don't try that, brother. You all didn't make America. This is not your country.
What you should do is sit down with someone who has fought for this country, Quannell. Get their opinion, too.
Tons of black people have, and what have we gotten from it?
And as a side note, let me also add that Black Native American history dates back to at least the 16th century, when enslaved Africans escaped to and were adopted by Native American tribes. Now, these Afro-Indigenous communities and alliances emerged from the interactions between escaping enslaved people and Native Americans, a pattern that began as early as the 1500s and continued for centuries. But let me also add that Many of the lighter complected natives or native Indian or indigenous people actually migrated from Siberia. So there were already dark people that were here. So the next time you say, why don't you pack up and go home? We are home and we're not leaving. Okay? My name is Larissa. I am indeed the People's Reporter. Thank you for coming and staying with me and doing a little bit of this history. Now listen, I'm new here, but I got a whole lot to say. So y'all go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like it and comment if you feel the need. I'm so glad you came here, and we'll see each other next time. Okay? All right. Peace and power to the people.